And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're taking a look at the game called Loka, a game of elemental strategy. Ooh, that sounds interesting. Let's look at the back of the box. In Loka, you control one or more armies of elemental fantasy warfare. Woohoo! Fire, earth, air, and water at war. Yada, yada, yada. The rules and types of pieces available to your army are inspired by traditional chess. What? Designers of the world, stop making chess variants. There is a gabillion new ideas. In fact, there's other games. Copy other games. Stop copying chess. But that doesn't mean it's bad, because there are some good chess variants out there. And this has some pretty good models. And it got a lot of money on Kickstarter. So it must be good. Board for Loka. It actually comes with a two-player, regular chessboard back, which has no borders, so that you can put them together and play mega games of chess the way chess was always meant to be played by those who are insane. Now, what you're going to do in this game is it's 2-on-2, so yellow and green against blue and red, and each player is going to take their king piece. So you'll get your king, and then you're going to pick a point total, and you'll buy pieces from that. So you could pay 90 points and take a queen, and the queens have giant wings here, except this one has giant branches, so you pick one of those. And then you can also buy a rook. The game only comes with one rook. If you want to play two-player chess, you just use two different colors. And then there are your Gandalfs, your bishops. Actually, one of them looks like Gandalf, the yellow one. The other ones look like, I don't know what that guy looks like, a mummy. And then you have your knights, which fortunately look like horses, so these, or griffins. So you have that, and then you have pawns that you can pick from. Now these, you can buy expansion packs for the game and get more of these. Once you build your army, whatever, you're going to place your pawns will go in the front row, your king goes in the back row, and any other royal pieces that you bought goes behind that. So it's very similar to chess. So each player is going to set their forces up. So let me put a few pieces here on the board to show you a little bit of how that works. Now, every rule from chess is pretty much the exact same in this game. There's no special benefits. Oh, blue's supposed to be over here. There's no special things. There's no castling in this game or in Passat, but there is everything else. The pawns move the same way, the bishops move the same way, the knights move the same way, etc. Pawns are there's two differences. When a pawn reaches this row or the back row there, then they can be promoted to another piece. And if your pawn is directly facing a pawn of your opponent's, you can do a swap move and switch them out. So the goal of this game is to capture the two opponents' kings. A few pieces of terrain will be placed randomly on the board by rolling dice to see where those are located. Terrain will all have different special effects. Some terrain, for example, like this, it shows like a ravine here. You can only go into this from two different sides. It can't be entered by the other two sides. Some give special advantages to different pieces of terrain. There's a portal where if you land on one, you can come out the other piece. So these pieces will be placed on the board. And then one person goes first, and as I said, it's the same as regular chess. So, I'm assuming those watching know how to play chess, where you can move your pawns forward, and they can attack diagonally, and your knights, your bishops can move diagonally in a straight line, and etc., etc. Now, the difference here is when you attack another piece. So let's say my pawn here, my yellow pawn, is going to attack my opponent's red pawn here. Okay? To do that, you are going to roll a die. Each player is going to roll a die. Now, you each start with a four-sided die, but you can have what is called a boost. If you are attacking, you get one free boost. So far, the yellow player rolls a six-sided die, and the red player rolls a four-sided die. Now, if if one of the pieces is stronger than the other piece, that gets a boost. So let's say the pawn was about to attack this rook here. The rook is stronger than the pawn. It's queen, rook, bishop, knight, pawn. The king is the highest. And then, so now the rook piece, even though he's defending, has a 6-sided die, but he's actually on a piece of terrain. So when you're in a piece of terrain, it will give you another free boost. So he is now up to an 8-sided dice, while the pawn is a 6-sided dice. Now, if someone else can attack the person being attacked, let's say I had a bishop here who could slide in and attack this rook. So that's another person who can attack, and let's say my queen was here. 2 more people can attack that rook. That would give me a boost for each of those. So I'm no longer a 6. I boost up to an 8, and then up to a 12-sided die. Hooray. Okay, so this is now my boosted die. And if anybody can defend the thing, so he would be up to he would go up a level 2. So it's possible to go all the way up to a 20, and then one level higher than a 20 is a super 20, which is a 20 with a reroll. But let's say, so for example here, yellow's attacking. So he has 1 boost plus 2, 3 boosts. So he went from a 4 to a 6 to an 8 to a 12. So he's rolling a 12-sided die. All right. The defensive player is higher and on terrain, so that's 2 boosts up to an 8-sided, but he can also be defended by this pawn, so he's also rolling a 12. So we roll a die for the attacker. Attacker rolls a 10. We roll a die for the defender. Defender rolls a 3. If the attacker is higher than the defender, your piece goes away and you move in, and that's just like that. Now, if the attacker had been lower, then basically he just bounces back. Nothing happens. However, if the attacker rolls a 1, he is automatically killed. If either player rolls a 1, they're automatically killed. And if they both roll 1s, then they both die. So when you put a king in check, that doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to die. A king can actually move into check because he may not be killed. And 2 kings can even fight each other. They just both roll a 20-sided die. So the game will continue until one team has captured the 2 opponents' kings. All right, let's weigh the pros and cons of this. Pros. Oh, those models are gorgeous. Done with the pros. Okay, come on. This is just dumb. First of all, buying expansion pieces for chess? It's so dumb. So dumb. I'm sorry. You gave me 1 rook and 1 bishop, and you're saying if you would like some variety, buy an expansion pack for one of the colors. Are you kidding me? I'm buying expansion packs so I can Okay, idiotic. Let's take a look at the base game though itself. Let's pretend that I'm happy with the 5 pieces or 6 pieces that are included with the game. The models are nice. They're fairly easy to differentiate, although every once in a while it's like, oh yeah, that guy's the bishop. It's the problem with these. I'm sure that if they were painted, they would look even better. But the fact is, folks, this is chess with dice. It's chess with dice. Come on. Did no one along the line say, isn't this kind of dumb? I mean, I look in the rule book and all these Kickstarters and all these people. Did nobody ever once say, hey, this is kind of a dumb idea. Why are we doing this? Why are we backing this? I mean, I'm flummoxed. The only thing I think of is that people wanted these cool miniatures because the game is horrifyingly bad. Now, I had a hilarious time playing it because it was so funny to watch someone roll a 4-sided die and someone else roll a 20-sided die, and the guy with 4-sided rolls a 3, and the guy with the 20 rolls a 2. Ha 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 ha, you just lost your piece. But that's not... Chess is a thoughtful man's game. Interesting back and forth. And I'm not opposed to shaking things up. One of the funniest, coolest games I've played is Nightmare Chess, where they give you special abilities and all kinds of crazy things go on. But that's what this is. It's even worse, though. I never, in chess, I can tell you, when I'm playing chess and I move a piece and I take my finger off and I'm like, no, I don't care here. Move my piece there. Attack it. I don't care because I might win. You have a 1 out of whatever die you're rolling chance of dying yourself. I don't care. It's hilariously just insane. The terrain has minor effects, and it's not really up to snuff with the rest of the game component-wise. It's like, ooh, I moved a piece. Oh, you're going to attack me. Well, let's see what happens, because it's totally random. It's like they took this, it's like they're trying to make a miniatures game out of chess, and it wasn't meant to be that way. Chess has a theme of war and has a theme of armies, but the fact is it's an abstract game. You can't add theme into it and make it work. This game looks beautiful, and a lot of people have bought it, obviously, and it's going to attract you because the cover looks great, the pieces look great, but it's chess with dice. Don't get it! And stop making chess variants.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut that door!
There.